If there's one thing the Jurassic franchise has a surplus of, it is Pterosaur action figures. Whether it's the good, the bad, or the downright goofy, there are a lot of these guys. Maybe you grew up with the old school blue Kenner Pteranodon figure, or you had the Lost World Steelbeak with his pop-out cloth wings, or you were one of the kids that were fortunate enough to have the awesome Hasbro Jurassic Park 3 Pterosaur figures, which in my opinion are the best Pterosaur figures from the vintage lines. Most of these Pterosaur figures all have something in common, and that is they are all in permanent, outstretched wing flying positions, and they lack the articulation that allows them to be put into dynamic action shots. The Kenner Pteranodon can be put in sort of a seated position, and he just kind of sits there and doesn't do much. Steelbeak is completely hopeless because he's just long and goofy, and his wings pop out, he knocks everything off the shelf, and he always has this surprised, frazzled look on his face. Fast forward to today, where we have Mattel's endless supply of Pteranodon figures here, but again, outstretched arms. We can't put them in crouched positions or any sort of dynamic poses. They're hard to display on the shelf. You might as well just keep them in the box at this point. Sure, you could go and buy a bunch of expensive NECA stands to mount your pterosaurs on, but that's a lot of expensive stands you're going to have to buy. You could just make your own, like this right here, with a little bit of wire and some clay, and make a nice flying stand for your flock of pterosaurs that you have. But wait, there is a new player on the field, and that is the Mattel Amber Collection Pteranodon from Jurassic Park 3. And this just might be the best Pterosaur action figure ever made. Sliding the Amber Collection Pteranodon out of the package, and it looks amazing. A few things to note that they have changed is the base color that they used to come with. They're no longer amber. They are now just a clear plastic, and the logo is not a sticker or a stamp anymore. It's actually carved into the plastic base itself. But I like a little bit more of a natural vibe with my bases, so I'm going to go ahead and change that real quick. I'll be right back. And I'm back. This looks way better. Now it looks like a slab of rock, and you can see all the details in it. If you want to know how to do this, I do have a video here on the channel that will show you how to customize your Amber Collection bases. Be sure to go check that out. Back to the review. Look at this thing. It's beautiful. It's a work of art. Congratulations, Mattel, on creating an awesome Pterosaur action figure. This thing looks great from all angles. Look at the paintwork on it. It's beautiful. I love this thing so much. Definitely going in my top 10 figures from Mattel so far. If we look here at the print on the face, it's not even like hand painted, it's actually printed on, but it looks perfect. It's applied beautifully. It gets the point across. It shows you all the detail in the face. And if you look on the back section here, they've got some dry brushing now that they're doing, and it looks great. It's making all the sculpt pop. It's not just a boring brown plastic. There's colors in here. There's dark orange and light orange, and as you know, coming from somebody who repaints a lot of figures, it looks really good. And sometimes I look at a figure and I'm like, oh, I'm just going to repaint that, you know, but I don't see anything on this where I'm like, I want to change that. I want to make it better. It looks great right out of the box, as an action figure should. Step in the right direction. Moving on to articulation. So this guy's got like 16 points of articulation or something like that. The lower jaw moves up and down, not attached to an action gimmick. I love that so much. The head can move right and left, and the neck also can move right and left. You get some really great range of motion in that neck joint. And then you can twist the neck around to use the ball joint up there, and you can bring the neck up, and you can get a really cool looking position just like that. Gnarly looking, I love it. And then you can push the neck down like that. Look how far down it can look. Perfect. So moving on to the top part of the body here, the shoulder joints, they can go up and down, obviously like a flying motion. They cannot move forward and backwards because the wings are actually a solid piece of rubber that goes straight through the body area right here. And it really sort of sells the realism of this figure, and I really like that a lot. The waist area has a little ball joint in it. It can move up and down, and you can get a little bit of motion in there, not too much. You don't want to rip the plastic. And then the legs at the hip have a little ball joint or a little articulation spot. Same part right there at the knee and at the little ankle area where the foot is. Same thing on the other side. And you can get them, flying out right just like that. And then the hands have little little joints right here. You can move the wrists up and down, and then it can do a full 360 spin if you want to do that. You can get it all the way around. Perfect range of motion. And then, of course, the one that everybody is talking about, and that's the bendy wire in the wing section. So with just sort of messing around with the bendy wire in the wing, I'm kind of feeling where the wire starts and where it ends, and it feels like it starts at the joint right above the elbow, and it goes all the way down to the last joint right before you get to the tip of the wing. And you can actually get some really nice organic bends in that wing, that little middle section. You can get a nice curvature in it right there, and it just looks really great. It holds it really well in that position, and having that thin rubber wing really helps a lot. Now, I know a lot of you are probably asking, can the Pteranodon get into that iconic crouched position? And judging by the photos that I have been seeing online, other people trying to do it, I don't think that it can get truly into the crouched pose that it does in the movie when it's, you know, attacking Grant and company on the catwalk area in the birdcage. But I'm going to try my hardest on camera right now to do it. I want to push this Pteranodon to the limits. I want to see what it's made of, so I'm going to bend these wings up as high as I can get them to go where that wire is. I'm going to see if it'll stay. I don't think it's going to. The rubber on the arms seems very, very thick, and the wire on the inside just isn't strong enough to hold the rubber up. So they're not going to be able to stay straight up like they are in the movie. There's always going to be that weird bend right there, and then the rubber just pushes the wings back down. So they will stay up at a slight angle. Good enough, honestly. I mean, it still looks great. And if you're going to try and recreate scenes from Jurassic Park 3 with this Pteranodon, it's going to be all about the angle. You know, you get it in the right position, the right angle, and you can make it look really awesome. And honestly, like, you get the wings bent up just enough to where that's as far as they'll go. You know, it'll still look great. I mean, that right there is that's the perfect looking angle, and it looks so awesome. I'm blown away by this thing. They definitely have knocked it out of the park with this figure, and I am done with these permanently flying, flat looking Pteranodons. This thing is yesterday's news. The bar has been raised, and this is the new standard for Pterosaur action figures. And we'll bring in a quick comparison. And for that, we'll use the Hasbro Pteranodon, so you can see just how far they've come in Pteranodon designs. I mean, the Hasbro one is a really great design, but the Mattel one is just, this is the ultimate one right here. This is the Pteranodon figure. If you had to get one, the Mattel Amber Collection Pteranodon is where it's at. Comparing it with a human too, here we got Billy, and since the Pteranodon is relatively the same size as the Jurassic Park 3 ones, these are completely compatible in the same universe. You can use the Amber one with your 3 3/4 guys, which I think is awesome. And we'll finish things off with a quick wingspan measurement in case you guys are curious to what the wingspan is on this sucker here, and it is coming in at a little, just about 19 inches, give or take, and that's pretty impressive. Although it doesn't beat the Alpha Pteranodon from Jurassic Park 3. That guy has a 22-inch wingspan, and he is massive. So we'll bring in a roar real quick. You can see here just over 16 inches, 16 and a half inches, give or take, depending on how you have the wings splayed out. And then the Hasbro Pteranodon here, wingspan coming in at a little over 18 inches, give or take. But the Pteranodon from Jurassic Park 3 and the Amber one here, relatively the same size, but so that you kind of know how big the thing is, you know what you're getting. But definitely recommend the Amber Pteranodon. Put it in your collection. This thing is awesome. So that's going to pretty much do it for this video, guys. I'm going to wrap it up here, but if you want to go and buy the Pteranodon for yourself, it is shipping now on BigBadToyStores.com. Or you can go and pre-order it on Target.com through Beyond the Gates, and it is scheduled to release sometime in April. So links will be down below. I'll let you guys make that decision. If you need some more Jurassic Park related content, you know where to find me. Links will be in the description box below. You guys take care, and I'll see you in the next video.